Welcome back. We're Life Through Your Eyes. I'm your host, Jackie.
Debbie.
And you probably noticed something a little bit different about this episode.
She's real. The best he's here with me at last. So excited.
So excited. So today we want to celebrate Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, guys out there. I'm so thankful for you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're part of this whole thing. So
We would be here without you.
right.
Literally.
Yeah.
We used to be in your bowls.
Yep. Yep, we did. True story. Thanks, Dad.
My dad's not here anymore. He's in heaven, hopefully.
Yeah.
He did good and made it. Amen. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Thanks, man.
thank you so much, though. I know you see me and we're so proud and I love you. It's everything you gave me. It's awesome. That's all really incredible.
And you all play such a huge role. And the effect that you have on your children's lives, whether it be a son or daughter, you have a really big impact on your kids' lives. And I think a lot of it is definitely been compartmentalized to be certain things. But I think that, it's expanded so much,
Yeah.
as time has gone on, for sure. And women's rights movements as part of that. It's allowed men to be a father in different ways than, used to.
And even though the expectation or role might change a little bit, it doesn't mean that they're less needed or valued or wanted. I mean, that's just different. Just like women are different now in their roles. We're not just cooking and cleaning and doing that. We're doing that and doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or however you choose to have it, whatever looks right for you. I am a firm believer that there's no cookie cutter. It's right for everybody. Like, happiness is not a certain picture. Like, you determine what makes you happy. But I digress. So, but with you fathers, there's a lot of different kinds of relationships. I feel like I grew up with a different relationship with my father than what you did. Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate more on my side, and more on yours, and somewhere in the middle, and also
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's where, for me, I always sit and remember that in the differences, it makes us all the same too. It just shows that common, like, how big of an impact. Like, really, I guess I just keep going back to that. Like, for you, how do you feel the relationship with your dad impacted you versus you were someone?
if I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I had a sperm donor father, but he wasn't there. Like, literally, my mom could have got me from the sperm bank and no knocking anyone. So
Yeah.
I'm grateful that, even though my dad had his flaws, obviously, like all of us, he could have chosen not to be there, and at times he wasn't. I had him probably, I'd say, like 55% of my childhood, right? Because of his trauma from Vietnam, having served in the war when he was 18, 19 years old, just shouldn't see his adulthood. It traumatized him a lot, so it caused a lot of conflict between him and my mother, who also had issues because she has a traumatic brain injury from when she was 16 years old. She got into a motorcycle accident without a helmet and went through 6 months of being unconscious in a hospital and several more months of rehabilitation. So she also has her physical and mental limitations as well. So the two of them made a very unique couple, and I feel like if I just had my mother alone, I would not have been able to have nearly the amount of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that I have, because I feel like even though my father went through his PTSD from Vietnam, and had a very different view of the world than my mother and a lot of other people in my life. I feel like that kind of helped shape me to the reality of, I should actually say, the harsh reality of life. That life isn't all beautiful and roses and love. I mean, it's war and ugliness and, disasters as well. So I think the balance of having a mother and father for me was, my mom really tried to be sunshine and keep everything happy and light. And she wanted me to believe in the best in life. She was very, very trusting. Like, I didn't have many moments with mom. She was very open to allowing me to self-regulate from a very, very young age, like literally 2, 3, 4 years old. Looking back, to me, sometimes it feels like negligence on her part as a parent, but I have to give my parents grace. They lived in a different time and they grew up in a different time. And she was doing her best. She's never done this before, and she has a brain injury that I don't know how much was affected, because she did have part of her brain cut out, and I don't know what part that was. And all I know was on the right side of her brain, so my father then, because he was a war veteran and he had saw the very, very ugly side of life, he had like very dark humor, which I inherited. And my mother hated. So for me, my dad made life fun. My mom was like more cautious and loving and there when like I hurt myself or, needed a hug or a kind word of encouragement. My dad was like the one who would walk around the house being like, nobody loves me, everybody hates me. When he wasn't getting his way, and my mom hated it, and I loved it. I thought that was hilarious. Like, yes, that's how I feel, bro. Totally get it. And then sometimes he'd be like, I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you kill me? And I'm like, again, mom hated that. So, I feel like having a dad gave me the ability to have fun sometimes. And I think it also was a harsh reality. Yeah. The harsh reality, but to also teach me how to play and have fun and be independent and learn how to be loved by a man. I feel like I learned that from him. He had very high standards for me. He wanted me to be the Proverbs 31 man. So if anybody is a Christian and reads the Bible, here's my dog, Coda. Not right now, baby. It's very good to see his appearance on YouTube. First appearance on YouTube. Coda. No, baby. Coda. No. Get down. Coda. Get down, baby. Life. Life be like. Hey, lovey. So, hey, I love you too. We're doing something right now. But, yeah, I really do think that if I didn't have my dad, I wouldn't have learned how to do an oil change or fix struts on my car and just become independent. Like, as much as I felt like my father wanted me to be like the Proverbs 31 woman and still like honor, love, and respect a man and follow under him, his lead, I think he also wanted to ingrain in me that if I don't want to be with a man, that I would be capable to do whatever I needed to do on my own, and that I didn't necessarily have to need a. He agrees with that. Thank you, Coda. Yeah, don't necessarily need. I mean, we don't necessarily need a man, but we need a dog. Apparently, yeah. Coda is really litty today. Very sorry, Coda. We're filming, baby. I need you to calm it down. Can you please calm down, Coda? Sit, baby. Like he's already for the lights. Yes. For the lights of the camera. Right, for fame. Coda, can you please sit down or go? Please, baby. Happy Father's Day. I don't know if Coda's ever met his father, so maybe he's coming here to see if his father is somewhere out there and sees this video and would maybe want to reconnect with his son. Okay, nope, look, he's like, nope, you are way off, Mom. I'm going to just slide down here.
That was a hell to the down.
No.
Wait.
Wow. So thank you for your patience. Sorry that my dog has a mind of his own and wants to just do his thing.
Yeah.
But, it's his life. And
I do want to kind of make a point to discuss one of the things that you had listed that I do feel is a huge part of, my, I don't want to say persona, but my experience.
Yeah.
With
fatherhood, with father.
Right. Or just as a person, into this life, like the impact that you have on your child's life, like it can be bigger than what you could think of, and it can also it's pretty easy. But you had said knowing one of the things that you learned is how to be loved by this, and I feel like being a woman, learning how to be loved,
or even showing your partner how you want to be loved and how you need to be loved. I think that's important too, because we forget our partners don't read minds. And if you have a partner of the opposite gender, they've never experienced life in your gender's body with the hormones flowing through their body the same way that they do with their own similar gender. So, sometimes we miss it with empathy, I feel like, because we're not really understanding what the other person's saying. And they're like, well, I called you, I think about you, I took you out to eat, I text you back. Obviously, I love you and care about you. Mm-hmm. I'm here hanging out next to you right now. I'm not with my friends or my family. But a girl will be like, no, but won't you cuddle me, or tell me I'm pretty, or take me out to eat on occasion, or just say you want to go out in public and do things. So we don't let our minds go crazy with stupid, non-truthful thoughts like, oh my God, he hates me. Maybe he's talking to another girl. Maybe I've gained weight. I've gained 5 pounds. What if I look fat and he's embarrassed of me now? And these are not thoughts that necessarily go through my mind, but I've definitely been around enough women and heard our self-talk. Mm-hmm. And it can be really ugly, guys. And it's crazy because even in my profession,
I've definitely been there. Yeah, I've definitely been there where that was that's what I'm saying. Where my side, it was a total different experience. I didn't get to grow up with my father. I didn't get to.
You have to teach men how to love you because you didn't have a father who taught you.
Well, and I have to know how to be loved by a man before I can teach me how I need to be loved. Okay. Because that's the thing. If you don't even know how to be loved by a man, it never feels like. Okay, for example, I know when I first, when I first met my dad, I was 16. I was really little when they got divorced. So,
yes, you go.
He's right by the camera and stuff.
I don't know if you heard it or.
I don't know either. I keep hitting the mic, so I do apologize if every now and then the talk. I'm maybe better. I talk mic. But I met my dad when I was 16, and it was strange to me when we would be sitting and hanging out because he's an affectionate person. So he'd or kind of put his hand on the back of my neck, or just kind of my shoulder, and
yeah, I know you. I don't know you, man. It's just been the last 16 years of my life.
It wasn't necessarily in a hostile way. It was more so it felt weird, I'm oh, this is creepy. Why is he touching me? He's my family. He's my dad. Ew, why would he touch me? I don't know what it's like to be touched by a man, and it's not in a sexual manner. I don't
Besides,
that
was there maybe?
me and my brother, we don't have, we don't. I mean, we're not, like, me and my brother, we weren't very huggy, like, that I was raised with. Shout out to my other bros. What are you guys doing? Yeah, it was raised with. Like, but no, we're not huggy. Like, I never knew what that was like. Like, so it was a strange feeling for me. I had to, like, basically rewire my brain to be like, hello, like, this is what love feels like. Like, you shouldn't feel like every man that touches you is touching you as an object.
Right.
You're a person to love.
Right. So that is a side effect of, or negative side effect, I should say, of a father's absence in your life, because if they're not there to show you that you're valued and you should be treated well, to chase a man away with a bat or a gun, or to just threaten him in general to stay away from your daughter and not take her virginity, or whatever.
Yeah.
It also puts something in her mind like, I am valued and I am protected. I'm safe. I'm safe. If a boy tries to do something that I don't feel comfortable with, or I don't feel good physically when he's doing, I feel safe that I can have a dad there to handle that for me.
Right.
Like, for instance, with my situation opposite of yours,
Right.
I had a time where I was 16 years old. I had my first car. I just got the transmission fixed because that was kind of the stipulation of me getting the car, is that it was my brother's broken car. It was his first car that was broken. And he was like, hey, if you get this transmission fixed, it's yours. And I'm like, oh, that's like $12.50. I could do that. So I did that. And then it's my first car. Nobody taught me how to like check for oil changes and stuff. And
Right.
the transmission was brand new, within a month, they had made a mistake and the oil had leaked out in less than a month, which, as we all know now, that's not normal and it's not my fault. No. It was their fault.
Right.
But because I was raised to be an independent woman and my dad was doing other things, I went to the place myself to bring the car back to say, hey, so my car overheated on the side of the highway and I need to tow it there because clearly you didn't do something right. And so the guy's probably like an older white man in his 50s, maybe. I'm 16. And he was like, oh yeah, I'll bring it in and we'll check it and see if there's something we need to do. But if I fix it, like, you're gonna need to come over to my house and do at least 5 sessions of oil changes and get under the hood so I could teach you how to maintain your car, because clearly you don't know how to do that. And as soon as he said that, I had this gut feeling like, this is inappropriate. Why would a grown man want to teach me at his home how to check my oil? This is before the internet.
Yeah.
It was like worldwide, really. It was like a small part of the world.
Yeah.
And
AOL was around. But it was
exactly. It was still like, whatever. That's like the dial sound.
I don't even know if we were printing off. No, we were printing off MapQuest.
Yeah, to get across the US. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long time ago. Right. Over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So, when I was, hold on. What do you want?
This is what our phone calls sound like.
Literally. You need to go to the bathroom? Okay, I need to get back on that thought and take it out really quick, so I'll edit this out. What was the last thing I said? I was talking about what was I talking about?
Hold on. To come over to his house and we'll just do something.
Okay. So I'm thinking, this is really inappropriate.
Yeah.
This grown man should not be asking me to go there. So in the moment, I was like, oh yeah, me and my brother will come over on what day next week? Because my dad has always taught me to use my brain. I grew up in the streets, as far as not the hood streets, but I grew up literally from as soon as I woke up until after dark, outside doing whatever the hell I wanted to do, because my parents allowed me to be like a hippie and free roam. And they believed that God and community would protect me. And they did in their defense. Their beliefs manifested. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
And
you didn't do a lot of like bad stuff.
No.
Like a lot of other kids with like that kind of freedom, like today,
Yeah.
I really don't know if as many. You're special. I really like a lot of kids even do a lot of stuff like that.
So to my point, because Jackie and I are really good at rabbit trails. But to the point is, when I say that about my brother, he was like, "Oh no, just you." And I was like, "All right, just let me know your address and your, the time, and I'll do that if that's what I need to do to get my car." And I leave and immediately go. And I tell my dad, he loses his effing mind. Instantly jumps in his car, tells me to get my ass in the passenger side to point this person out.
Mm-hmm.
And I go there, and my dad cusses this man out, almost tears a new asshole in him, and then demands that this man is fired because he will call the police for him preying on his teenage daughter. I had never been, or have never, and hopefully will never, be raped, molested, attacked by a man in my life. And I think in my adult life, when I was a kid once, also to this point with dads, when I was a kid once, I was 14 and this boy was 13 and he was in my house with another boy I had a crush on. They were friends. And he was just ornery like teenage boys are. And he thought it was funny or appropriate to decide he wanted to kick my shin softly to piss me off and call me a bitch at the same time. My dad's sleeping in his bedroom, not too far away. Right now, my voice is raspy because we danced our asses off last night and drank and had too much fun.
Another episode.
Yes, you'll get all of them.
Okay.
But what was I just saying? What was I saying? The two boys kicking. Oh, thank you. The two boys were kicking my shin, or the one boy was kicking my shin. The other one, who I had a crush on, was watching, just letting. And he's supposed to be my friend. He's supposed to be my friend, and this is his friend, both in my house. So I'm sitting there frustrated, and after
it's what you did before cell phones,
right? And after about the third kick, I tell him to stop kicking me. And after the third kick, I just get up and I sock him in his chest. And I remember I had a sucker in my mouth and I was worried as I'm like tossing and literally wrestling this kid on the ground while the boy is watching, that I like, is watching, not doing anything. Thanks, guy. I'm worried that I'm going to choke on this, the sucker, but I'm like, no, fuck it. This guy is not going to treat me like this in my own house, call me a bitch in my own house. And attack me, physically kick me in my shin, don't care how soft or hard it is. You are physically putting your person on my person without my permission.
Exactly.
So when we're on the ground wrestling, I finally pin him and start wailing on him. Then the guy friend pulls me off of him.
Yep.
And as soon as he does, I yell, "Dad." When I tell you my dad, like the fucking Flash, runs out with a butcher knife because he, from his veteran days and PTSD, slept with the fucking butcher knife under his pillow. So this nigga runs out. This man runs out and chases this boy down the street about 3 blocks. And this kid was an athlete, so he was fast. And my dad's an old vet. He was like 38 when he had me, so he was not fast. And I remember my dad, and I'm glad my dad was not that fast because he.
So he
runs up to me, my dad does afterwards, huffing and puffing. And he was like, "What the hell are you doing? What was that about?" And I was like, "Dude, he kicked me in my shit and called me a bitch in my own house." And he was like, "You're going to have me in jail killing these boys all year." And I was just like, okay. My bad, Dad, but like, what do I do? That's why I called you. Like, did you not want me to call you? And he's like, of course I want you to call me, but I want you to be in a stupid ass situation in the first place. And I'm like, heard. Lesson learned. Thanks for the backup. You know what I'm saying? Like, thanks for the backup. Because a little hind story with me, my mother is handicapped. The left side of her body's paralyzed from that traumatic brain injury. So she kind of looks like a stroke victim, was able to, for many years, walk with a cane and just limp and did not have access to her left arm to use it, and her left leg, she just kind of dragged. So if I was ever, my entire life, in a situation where I needed help, my mother could never have helped me. There was no way she could help me. I would just die. So it was literally by the grace of God all those years that my father would leave because of their tumultuous relationship. I could have died. I could have died swimming. I could have died crossing the street. I could have died doing so many things because my mom could not walk fast still. So again, for me, having a dad in my life, vital. Like, I appreciate the energy that he gave me. I appreciated even little things about how he would tease me. And when I started growing boobs as a little girl, he called them mosquito bites. And he would be like, oh, it looks like your mosquito bites are infected. I think we should take you to a doctor to get those looked at and get them treated. And like, he would just tease me. And I'm like, oh my God, shut up, Dad. Those are boobs. He's like, no, my daughter does not have boobs. Like, nope, 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 nope. Those are definitely, I know what boobs are. I know what boobs are. Those are infected mosquito bites. I'm very sorry to break this to you, but the doctor will let you know. And he would just talk so much shit all the time, and it was awesome. So he brought so much joy to my life. As much as I love my mom, and she again brought the care and the nurturing that I needed, because my dad was not much of a nurturer, to be honest. There, but he was a provider. He loved the shit out of me. Like, I definitely know that I'm loved by him. And he has 4 kids. I'm definitely the favorite. I know people would argue between me and my sister that she might be, but trust me, he was in my house on his deathbed, and I cared for him for the last 8 days of his life. And then years other than that, he lived with me at times. So I'm definitely his favorite. Hands down. We can get a psychic. We can get a psychic for an episode once, and we can see if we can communicate with my dad. We can see that. I do have a medium.
Like flicker twice.
Yeah, no,
favorite, right?
no. I have a friend who's a medium, and she literally sees pictures in different like sections, so she can communicate that way via like stories and pictures and images that she translates into speech. It's really cool. So we are going to do that because, again, this is life through her eyes, and she does identify herself as a modern day witch and psychic. So I think it would be really cool for you guys to understand what they mean by a modern witch and psychic. Because again, think about witches, taking us back another bunny trail that we do. Think of this. People who were women that worked with herbs and plants and made potions that helped people feel better, aka medicine, were burned at the stake and called witches. So the name that they gave them was to demonize that they were just natural healers. So I don't know if that's what she means by witch, or if she means something different. She's creates potions or what. So I think that would be really interesting to like actually just talk and ask instead of being closed off and believing I already know everything and I know what a witch is or psychic is. I would love to have her on. And she already said before we even started our podcasting that she was like, you better get me on that show, girl. Heck yeah. I want to do it. And so it'll be cool to have like a live reading on the end. So it'd be cool. And that'll come up in the future.
Check up on Dad.
Yeah.
Hey. Tell everybody who's favorite, right?
And she's already said that she is going to communicate with my dad, and I've told her literally nothing about it. No, I'm just gonna make it sound stabbing a little bit. That's what he's gonna say. I didn't get that.
Literally, when you look at me, take notice of it.
Okay, so we have 17 minutes to wrap up. So with Victoria, I just feel like it would be really cool to just hear it from her own perspective, and yeah, so back to dads. You guys are amazing.
Absolutely.
You're so vital in our lives. As you see in the situation with Jackie again.
Which I mean now, like
the time.
now, like we've got a good relationship. You know, I mean, as years progress, like I mean, we met when I was 16. It did not go good. I came back into each other's lives. I think I was like 19. First. And then shortly after I had my son, he came to see me. They just my son was only a couple years old, and my dad came to see me, and that's when we really started like building a really close relationship.
Right.
I want to say like because when I was 16, and it was terrible. Like I went off. I said a lot of things. You know, I was really a single mom. Like my dad's very
Didn't have your father around all those years.
yeah, and my dad's very like traditional Latino male. Like what I say goes because I'm the man. I'm the dad.
I deserve respect.
And I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't do it because I said it. My mom was like, "Hey, don't you think you should probably like wrap it up on the phone? You gotta, get up early in the morning." Like, yeah, right, absolutely. I'll wrap it up.
She gave the logic behind her instructions in order versus just getting commands and orders and expecting you like a soldier in the military to just obey silently instead of as a child your brain is growing.
Right.
And it needs to understand why you do something. Like for instance, why I don't walk out in the street without looking both ways is because look at that dead animal in the street.
And that is why you do it. Yeah, it's going to make you do that for sure.
Right.
And also something she did, like she didn't bad talk my dad to me, like because things didn't work out with them, and obviously he wasn't around. My mom wasn't bashing him too that whole entire time, but we had no communication, no relationship, like
right.
And sadly, because of that, like I didn't get to learn about my heritage growing up. I didn't get to learn Spanish or Guarani, about our people in Paraguay. Like I missed out, like on a lot of that stuff. Now, thank goodness that we have a relationship now. I've built one with my abuela, my tia, like my cousins, and I've still got tons more family in New York and obviously in Paraguay that I've never met. And, like learning all this stuff is pretty cool. I'm sad I didn't get to grow up with it. I'm sad that my dad's made comments when we've been at a quinceañera that he was playing at. He's like, "Look at this, honey." Like, he does make me half. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? I'm like, yes, it's gorgeous. I see weddings less extravagant than this.
Girl,
I mean, she had like 7 dresses, like 12 dance routines. And he was like, "Yeah, you should have, you should have this. Like, you should have had kids here." And I was just like, it's kind of heartbreaking to hear, but at the same time, like I'm thankful for what we're building now because you can't go back and change it.
But what we can do is for your 45th birthday, give you a quinceañera 3 times.
Do it.
Why not? 45. Yeah. You're like, hey, it's going to feel like a wedding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, the things that I've learned from him now, and because we didn't have that time when I was younger, and I'm already this young woman. When he meets me, and
after your quinceañera.
Yeah,
you were 16. So that was the year after your 15th.
Yeah, exactly. And so he tried to come in and like tell me didn't work. Shortly after that, he started coming to the realization because of me, like that he just gotta love me as me and accept that. And he's even told me that he's learned, so much about loving another person by loving me, and yeah, I don't want to crazy tell this business, but like, um, I've got other siblings that are half siblings on my dad's side. We do not have the same moms. I don't know how else. I mean, but you know, I'm the only one that has a relationship with him. Out of 4 children, I'm the only one that. Yeah, but a lot of their moms adopt him. You know, like he makes choices. But that's the thing. Like I've learned, especially through this, and so is he. Just accept him as he is, and he accepts me as I am, and we just love each other. And the kind of conversations that we can have are very open. Like we can openly talk about sex, talk about relationships. Like, you know, I mean, when I tried to tell him I was bisexual, like he like stopped me mid sentence. He's like, I know. And I'm like, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to say. So I'm like, I want to talk to you about something. He's like, oh, I know. I'm like, what do you mean? I didn't even start since there wasn't even a subject about it that we were talking about that led up to this. And he was just like, it's like I don't judge you. You know, he grew up in when he came to the United States. He was in performing arts schools and you know Juilliard, so like New York. Like he's not a stranger to you know people that like a different lifestyle. Just, yeah. So I really value my relationship with him and seeing somebody that has such a love for his passion. Yes. Is beautiful. He's a wonderful musician, and you know it's like watching. It's not creepy to me. I'm sorry if it creeps anybody else out. It's not in a creepy way, but it's like watching someone make love to their music. It's beautiful, you know. And if he wasn't going to be able to be in my life, at least it was because he was pursuing something that he likes and that he's so wonderful. And that to me makes it like it's not you know like it's easier to accept. I don't know another way to put it. Like, it makes me value him as a person that who does have values, who does you know so, yeah, appreciate those things about him. Like I love all those things I've been ignored from my dad. What is something that you think that you learned from him the most in these years that you guys have to them? Really? Um, if anything, to not second guess myself and to love myself first. And I mean, we joke and talk about how like I'm difficult. He's like, oh, you know, you're the female version of me, you know, and all this. So we kind of laugh and joke about it. But and he did tell me I've got 10 more years. If I want to like a serious relationship, I got 10 more years that I look good, and I better like lock it in now. You know, so I guess our time is like us. You know, get that as our beautiful people and like all this. So it's funny. But
Side note, dads, don't tell your daughter she's going to be ugly soon. Just act like no matter how ugly and wrinkly or whatever, she has teeth or not, just act like she's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. We do the same for you guys all of the time. And you do not look good. So, dads out there, please don't break your daughter's heart. She's taking it nicely because she didn't grow up with her whole life. But if my daddy had said that, heartbroken. You ain't gonna call me ugly.
you ain't gonna call me ugly.
My daddy,
Not my dad.
my daddy knew me so well and how much I despise the thought of me or my children, my offspring being unattractive. That when I had my first child at 19 years, no, 20, so yeah, 20 years old, when I had my first child at 20, when he first saw him, he goes, oh, thank God he is cute because I know if he was ugly, you'd be like, that ain't my kid. And I was like, I've never felt so seen.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that you knew
Yeah.
how much I was like put off
Yeah.
by ugly babies. Because that's another thing. I know people are going to hate us. I'm sorry if this offends anybody, but it is what it is. We have the right to have our own opinion for now until the government changes that. But I truly believe that there's such a thing as ugly babies, you guys. You're lying to yourself if you think every single baby that comes to this world is beautiful, because that means you've never seen every single baby. And I've seen a lot of ugly babies. A lot. And I do.
They're like freshly born. Their heads are shaped all weird. They're like natural birth babies. I think it's sometimes C-section because if they've been already like in the position, they can still get kind of cone in the head. But I mean, I've seen them with like
yeah, that face. Yeah, no, so
later, but
with me, I shouldn't necessarily say babies are ugly. Maybe I should say I've seen not cute babies, unattractive babies, babies that don't make me want to go, oh, what a cute baby. Oh, your baby's such a cutie. Oh, whatever. And whenever I encounter these children in public,
what do you say when you like go into the baby and you like realize midway, oh god, it's an ugly baby. What's your reaction?
Or when my friend has a baby that is not very good looking and they're introducing me to their baby, they're like, oh, this is little John.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, how precious. Oh, you are just so precious. And I'm not lying. Their life is precious, but they ugly AF.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Tactful.
Very tactful.
Very tactful way to say your baby ugly.
I'm not as smooth. I'm normally like, because I'm just going to like, it's gonna be cute. You know, I'm like, oh, and then it's not. I'm like, it's a baby.
I haven't held a baby in so long.
A baby.
It's such a little baby. Look how little this baby is.
Sorry. Yeah. Precious is your code word. Baby's mine.
I see beauty, brains.
Shut up, you're beautiful.
And you're smart. Playing. I like how you're like, I'm smart and pretty. You're like, you're beautiful too. You can tell she has very high self-esteem. We're working on it.
Well, I'm not dumb. I can say some dingy things sometimes, but it makes it funny. It keeps you on your toes.
So once, very, very, very long ago, I don't know if you've said this before. Maybe we did.
I don't think so.
So very long time ago when we were kids, KFC came out with this new advertisement slogan that was like KFC, kitchen fresh chicken. Kitchen fresh chicken, kitchen fresh chicken. And everyone's like doing this. And me and Jackie are hanging out one day watching TV and this commercial comes on and she goes, oh my God, I always wondered what KFC stood for. And I was like, no, bitch, no, you didn't. It's Kentucky Fried Chicken. You always knew that.
You always she was like, you knew that.
You knew that. You definitely knew it was Kentucky Fried Chicken. And she goes, ah, just like losing it laughing. And I'm just like, yeah. So that's the level of ditzy that Jackie can be sometimes. Not all the time.
All the time.
But I get that too. My mother is a natural blonde. She's a white woman, natural blonde. And yeah, she is the OG Karen. Her name's Karen. She's the OG. And she definitely passed on her blonde jeans to me. Because there's sometimes that I do the dumbest thing ever.
It's not dumb. It's hilarious.
I'm just like, what
was I thinking?
Where did that just come from?
Yeah. I love it. And I will say, to swing back to the Father's Day and thank you, dads. Whenever I have those moments with my dad, he'll laugh and he'll try to find the most tactful way to like just kind of be endearing and tell me he loves me. Oh, this is one of your quirks, and this is just you being you, and like what is that when you're like you're so pretty. Thank you, kids. or the times when I'm maybe getting agitated and I'm like getting ready to like
Snap.
yeah. And my dad can kind of be like, all right, I'm just gonna like get off I'm gonna get off the phone before I put my mouth anymore, my foot in my mouth anymore, and because the kid kept fire up for sure, and he's very he tries not to like escalate the situation. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been over time that we've learned these things, and this is just part of the, him learning me, accepting me, and I'm a passionate person, and tries to give me that space. Not that it doesn't ever frustrate him, and I also want to make that acknowledgement for all you dads out there, the things that you endure as a man in this world. I mean, we're mothers of sons, so they someday become fathers themselves. Like, I don't want my son to suffer in silence. I don't want him to be afraid of talking about his feelings, going about this world as a man in this world. Like, you guys do a lot. You guys do a lot. And a lot of things we don't quite understand on the same level. We'll never understand. It's like, yeah. Absolutely. That is your burden to bear. And thank you for bearing it. And bearing it with grace and hopefully humility. No, guys, I know him. And if you're coming to the table with that masculine energy, that's when us women can come with our feminine energy and not have to be so hard. Be so, like, I got this. That's kind of our defense mechanism because we've got that better. But so we thank you, dads, and we know like you make mistakes. You make mistakes, and that's okay too. We still love you. You're still here. A message to children out there of dads, whether you're an adult or you're still a child, whatever it is. I assume children are probably watching this. Even if you're an adult and your dad's still alive, please reach out to him, talk to him. Sometimes they don't want to speak up and say that they're going through things or they want to connect with you because they're thinking maybe that you're too busy with your life and you're an adult now or whatever the case may be, but just trying to give you space. They still need to want you in their life as well, and you definitely need to call your dad Father's Day, do something nice for him, but don't just get him a tie or something generic. Maybe ask your dad what he would like or do something that's a personal thing, create some sort of, I don't know, do whatever it is that is a creative experience that your father will actually appreciate and, have a good relationship with him. Maybe it's time to start. God, if you don't know what to get your dad, we want to do it personally. I did see a really cool book you can get for your dad to fill it out, and it's tell me about yourself, Dad, or something like that. Yeah. It's got all these really cool questions, like table talk points. Yeah. And, I've seen that on Facebook. Yeah. So, yeah, just different things that are personalized. Get to know him. Yeah. Get to know him. Spend time. For your dad. Time. That is honestly the best gift that. And it's the time that I don't have with my dad anymore. And I have a little altar I made to him, and I keep those ashes near me. And he definitely had a profound effect on my life. And I know I would not be Deborah without Big Joe. And I'm so grateful eternally for having that masculine energy in my life. And although sometimes people accuse me of maybe being too masculine, I know that it's because it's my survival mode and mechanism because I am a single woman raising teenagers by myself with no assistance whatsoever from a father. So I have to be a mother and father to them if they're missing that other one. And you have to step into masculine roles of providing and protecting and guiding and doing those things as well. And I'm grateful that I'm capable of doing it because my father was a great father and guide and leader and provider. I know that anything I ever needed, he would always make sure, no matter how poor we were, that it was there, that I got. Right. I remember looking back, we were very poor, and even things I wanted, can I go to the fair and I need $50?
$50 back then was a lot of money. It was a lot for my dad. And he would sacrifice even his beer and cigarette money, which, again, a person who has an addiction and has trauma, like with PTSD, that's a huge sacrifice to give up something that is an addiction and is a crutch that kind of gets you through. So, anyways, thank you guys. Tell your dad you love him. Do something nice for him. Spend time with him. Yeah. And again, dads, just remember that you are not forgotten. You are very loved. And we hope that you guys keep rising up and being there for your children. And even if you're not biological father, being there for other people's children, for other people, whether they are children or adults, choosing to step up and be a leader. We need you guys. We need good leadership right now. Like, you guys are essentially the leaders of the world still. And so we need you to be good men and be good by other people and stop trying to compete as much and become mentors again. Because we need your mentorship. We need your masculine energy. We need your wisdom. We need your guidance. We need your muscles. We need your mind.
That leadership, the stepping into that, like, well, I'm going to lead and we're going to do this. And it's kind of the team leader, you know what I mean? Yeah. Not that it's the man forefront over the woman, but like, to be able to have that masculine, I mean, when that masculine energy tends to be a little bit more aggressive, and when women are more aggressive, it's more masculine. Yeah. You know, so it's for sure, we need that. We need that balance. Absolutely. And we thank you for all you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you all for watching another episode, listening to us ramble like we do. Yeah. We love you all. And again, leave some comments. We're happy to get any suggestions, and like, subscribe, share, please. Yes. And we will see you hopefully next week. Happy Father's Day. Bye.
Bye.